All right, seventh grade, we're here taking a look at the poem There Is No Word for Goodbye by Mary Tall Mountain. And yes, that is her name. Now, this poem obviously takes place on some cultural context we are not familiar with, dealing with the Athabascan people, which are located in northwestern Canada slash eastern Alaska. Um, that's the general region I want you to be thinking of. And as far as it goes, there's not many of them left. Just as many Native American tribes, unfortunately, there are not many of them left, as we talked about back when we did the medicine bag. Um, but this talks about sort of the familiarity of their language, and that's something that has honestly been greatly lost in our world, has been the study of Native American languages. They've largely been displaced in favor of English, or in some instances in Canada, French. So there are fewer and fewer native speakers. But that's beside the point. There are a few things in the poem I want you to take a look at. Now, this poem was not published at such a point that I can give you a reading because of public domain laws. However, I do want you to take a look at the first stanza, so that's on page 116, and I want you to think about relationships with older relatives and sort of compare there, because he's talking to his aunt, specifically a maternal aunt. They have a word for that. We have to use two words with sequoia. That's the word that's being used there. The next place I'd want you to take a look and think and reflect and relate the poem to yourself would be the third stanza, which is the very first stanza on page 117. And it talks about how the aunt's displaying a shade of feeling. What does that mean? I want you to go ahead, think what that might be, discuss what the feeling might be, and discuss what they mean by saying a shade of feeling. The next thing I want you to take a look at is take a look at the one, two, three, four, fifth stanza. Fifth stanza, she touched me light. This is how that stanza begins. That stanza, I want you to take an example and look at the figurative language that's in there. So you'd want to be looking for similes or metaphors. Find an example, practice that, because that is something that, hint, hint, will be on your test. Then the final thing I want you to take a look at. Why do you think the aunt says there is no word for goodbye in the final stanza? Go ahead, put those thoughts there. You can go ahead and leave those in the comments. You do have one other Native American word, which is in the fourth stanza, which is tla, there's your pronunciation of it. What does that word mean? It is a word for I will see you later. It's sort of like if we were going to say, see you tomorrow. That's sort of how that word is used. And go ahead, your homework is going to be due on Wednesday. Go ahead, leave your thoughts, reactions to this poem in the comments below, and I will see you in the next one, 7th grade. We're winding down this unit.